Welcome to another episode of Erik Wait Whiskey Studies, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing a whiskey that I picked up from the Crowded Barrel. I visited the distillery a couple times. The first time I picked up a bottle of the Eleanor. This one is the Chapter 6.2, which I previously reviewed, and during my first visit I did a video with Daniel and Rex for the Whiskey Tribe, and then I had Daniel on my channel. We did a couple videos together, getting a little geeky into talking about whiskey branding. In this video, however, I'm going to be reviewing a whiskey that I picked up from my last trip in September. This is something they put out every year. It's a Texas Whiskey Festival blend. They'll have another one coming out about a month after this video first posts, and this is a blend of 3 other Texas distillers. So, before I get into this whiskey, here are some shots I took from my last visit, as well as notes on this whiskey. Crowded Barrel Alliance Series. The Crowded Barrel reaches out to remarkable distilleries across the United States to source unicorn barrels that are remarkable but don't fit the typical taste profile of their typical releases. The Crowded Barrel then brings these barrels to Austin and bottles them in limited releases. This bottle is the Texas Whiskey Festival blend made with whiskeys from Iron Root Republic Distillery, Balcones Distillery, and Andalusia Whiskey Company. More specifically, it is made up of 29.4% of Iron Root Republic Bloody Butcher Corn Bourbon, 29.4% Iron Root Republic Special Purple Corn Bourbon, 29.4% Balcones Mirador, and 11.8% Andalusia Striker Single Malt. It was aged for 24 months, and this is a 375 milliliter bottle. This is bottle number 805 of 1200. It's bottled at 58% alcohol by volume and sells for about $40 retail from the distillery. Alrighty, I have my Whiskey Tribe Challenge coin here. Pour myself a little bit. So I did an uncorking of this with Richard Amaro, which I interviewed, and his video was posted before this one, and continued to taste it during recording of a video and interview with Emma Niemeyer, who is the manager for the Crowded Barrel, and she does some blending there as well. So that'll be... Oops! Just dropped a cork. So that'll be posted shortly after I review this. Alright, let's get into this. So this is an interesting whiskey because it's a blend of a bourbon and single malts. And the bourbon is sort of saying, I'm a bourbon, I'm a bourbon. And the single malts are kind of going, I'm a single malt, I'm a single malt. And the identity of the whiskey, it works, but I feel also it's competing a little bit. You know, if you're used to drinking single malts or bourbons or even blended, say blended scotches, to then take a bourbon and a single malt and kind of put them together, the identity can be a little, I don't know. But does it taste good? So on the nose, I get the corn notes, but there's a hint of smokiness there. I get the caramels, vanilla. There's a lot of spice in there. Cinnamon, nutmeg, clove. There's sort of a wild brush character to it. So I think the Andalusia striker is popping up, sort of come up underneath. I think up front, what first is apparent is the bourbon from Ironwood Republic. And I haven't had the Balcones Mirador, so I don't know what that is contributing. Perhaps as a sort of mid-palate character to it. I don't know. So imagine a bourbon with a little bit of smokiness to it, some more intense, perhaps more intense spice. There's a little bit of woodiness there. Caramels, apple pie. All right, if I was doing this blind, I would definitely think this is a bourbon. I think the bourbon is dominant and the Andalusia is in the background. All right, on the palate. On the palate is when Andalusia says, hello, I'm here. Because Andalusia is definitely coming on the back end of the palate. It is really kicking in. Yeah, there's some more of the bourbon character up front, but on the back end, that Andalusia striker, which I love so much, is really coming around on the back end. It's now coming across a little bit more of a bourbon that you use perhaps to make a barbecue rub. Yeah, so imagine if you were going to put your meat in a whiskey, and then you're going to put a spiced rub on it, and then you're going to put that onto a grill. That's kind of like what I'm getting here. The bourbon still is up front, and the Andalusia is kicking around in the back. What I like about it is, I think combining a single malt and a bourbon gives it more variety, more complexity, so that you get something different in the front, in the middle, and the back. But in terms of my head trying to get a grasp on its identity, that's where I'm kind of like, I'm not really sure what to make of it. What did I get on the palate? The caramel corn, butterscotch, caramel, vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg, and then as it transitions to the mid palate, I'm getting a barbecue rub, spiced barbecue rub. I'm getting a campfire smoke. I'm getting a lot of baking spices, cinnamon, clove, nutmeg. And what lingers is that classic Andalusia striker smoke. That is sort of what lingers. I really like this whiskey. It's getting difficult to score it because I don't have anything else to compare it to. But I really like it. I'm going to give this a solid 89 points. A solid 89 points. The only thing that keeps me from going above 90 and above for me is it seems to be struggling with an identity. But it's something really, really unique. Now, what you may be asking is, why review a whiskey which, one, is such small quantities, you may not be able to get it, even if you can get down to the distillery. What's the point? If you like something like this, one, it shows you the sort of thing that they're doing, that this is an experimental distillery, and there are other things that you may like that they're going to put out there. That's point number one. Point number two is, if you like it, and this is such small production, and then eventually this is gone, what I can do is try to duplicate this by buying a bottle from Ironwood, buy a bottle from Balcones, and buy a bottle from Striker, and make your own blend and see what you can come up with to see if you can find or create something that is comparable to this. Alrighty, another sip. It does have a bit of a bite to it. It's silky up front, but the bite kicks in the middle. It is really, really, really a powerful and a huge punch of flavor. This will take an ice cube or some water and do just fine. It's had no problem cooling it down a little bit. And I really like it. And I look forward to seeing what they come up with other whiskey blends. Now, about a month after this post is the 2020 Texas Whiskey Festival, in which they're going to be releasing another one of these. So if you can get down there and get your hands on the next release, I highly recommend it because they're doing some really, really cool stuff. All right, that's it for this review. If you subscribe to this channel, I want to thank you very much. If you haven't yet subscribed, but you like watching my videos, I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and other social network channels. And until next time, cheers. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and check out these other whiskey videos.